Thank you so much for watching, listening. Hello, it's official Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. Ugh. You're like, is that the joke? Kind of. But before I tell you the joke, of course I want you to subscribe because we have fantastic content. And here is your magnificent joke. What do you call a pig who knows karate? Call it a pork chop. I know, you're like, that is so lame. I agree. However, let's get into something a little more meaty and meaningful, so to speak, no pun intended. Pork chop, meaty, get it? I know. I'm sorry, I'll just get into flipping the script. I'm gonna flip the script from corny, cheesy jokes to something meaningful and actually I think really helpful for us today. So we've been talking about Jesus coming into Jerusalem, his triumphant entry, and how the script was flipped. Flipped for the people who were his disciples, flipped for the donkey who carried Jesus, and then Simon Cyrene carrying Jesus' cross, and the Pharisees, and Nicodemus being an example of the script that got flipped. But I want us to think about this even from a broader context, because when Jesus came into Jerusalem on that Palm Sunday, there was the anticipation, and I believe this, a lot of people, probably thousands of people in Jerusalem, many of the Jews, anticipated and were eager and turned out to celebrate Jesus because they thought he would liberate Jerusalem and Israel from Roman oppression. At this time in history, the Romans were occupying and controlling all of Israel. And Pilate, he's a Roman governor. He's put in place by the Caesar in Rome. And you have centurions, Roman centurions who are patrolling, and you have tax collectors who are giving money to the Roman Empire. And the Israelites and Jews didn't like, a lot of them, some did, but most of them did not like the Roman occupation. They felt like these guys are interlopers and they don't belong. They need to hit the road and go back to their own country and leave us alone in our country. This is our country and they don't belong here. They're not the welcome guests. They're the intruders. We want them out. And so a lot of people saw Jesus as the potential liberator of Rome from Roman oppression. And when he rolled into Jerusalem, huge crowds turned out, so excited, happy to have Jesus here. And they anticipated that he would be a king and he would roll in with political agenda and overthrow the oppressors. But Jesus flipped the script. I think he does things that we don't anticipate. Instead of coming into Jerusalem and confronting Pilate immediately, hey, who do you think you are? You need to hit the road, buddy. You don't even belong here. Jesus doesn't do that. Instead of going directly to Pilate, Jesus goes directly to the temple, the high point of all Jewish worship, and he upends the temple. He throws over the tables, he kicks out the money changers, he upends the whole thing. And he's super confrontational. He's like, how dare you turn my house of prayer into a den of thieves? I mean, he flips the script. And here's a question for you to think about. Has Jesus ever flipped the script on you and you're like, what? And you kind of feel like you're in a free fall and you're, what's happening here? If you've ever had that experience, just put a thumbs up and let me know, give me that feedback, because it's important to think Jesus flips the script. And sometimes we don't get it. But here's my thing for you, and for me as well. I want us to follow Jesus, no matter what he does or what he doesn't do. He doesn't come into Jerusalem as the liberating king to get rid of the oppressors. He rolls into Jerusalem. First thing he does is hits the temple and upends the whole thing, turns it upside down. And then towards the end of the week, he's crucified. He's not the victorious king. He's the convicted criminal and crucified, brutally murdered. And it's just massive twist. You're like, I don't think his disciples saw that, even though he told them ahead of time. He told them multiple times, hey, we're heading into Jerusalem and they're going to kill me. And just to let you know, and I'll raise from the dead third. But I think the disciples couldn't get their head around that. Number one, it's not what they wanted to hear. Number two, it didn't make any sense. And I think sometimes when we follow Jesus, we have to expect that Jesus won't always do the expected. Jesus oftentimes does things and does things we don't expect. And then sometimes he does things doesn't do things that we expect, or vice versa. And I think we have to be committed to follow Jesus no matter what. To stay loyal, to be faithful, and to be committed with Jesus. No matter what he does or what he doesn't do, no matter if we don't understand what's happening, this doesn't make any sense. Jesus in Gethsemane, and Peter, James, and John, they're sleeping. Jesus is like, can't you keep watch with me? And they can't. They're tired and probably stressed, So let's follow Jesus no matter what. No matter how the script and plot of our life is going, left turns or drops, like you feel like you just had the rug pulled out from under you, whatever it is. Let's continue to stay loyal, faithful, committed with Jesus, and to follow him no matter what. So thank you so much for subscribing. Hit the notification bell right there. Keep you posted when we have new content, and pretty soon we're going to start a new series, and of course it will be fantastic.